Barcelona this season have been questionable. Apart from the games against Real Betis and Antwerp in September, they haven't really impressed anyone. They're losing their grip on the La Liga title race. They're not even sure yet of qualifying for the Champions League knockout stages. And most of all, they're just playing atrocious football. After yet another disappointing Barcelona display against Rayo Vallecano in La Liga, one inevitable question comes to the mind of a lot of fans again. Is Xavi actually still the right coach for this team? Well, yeah, he is still the right coach for Barcelona, and here I will tell you exactly why. First of all, Barcelona might really just need some momentum right now. In these last months, it has felt as if when one player came back from injury, another got injured. It is almost as if Xavi's options for his lineup have changed with every single game. Consequently, some players really just haven't had enough regular playing time to find their best form. Pedri has been back for a few games now, for example, but he has been far from his actual level. He has lost too many balls, he has not been as creative and impactful as usual, he has just not been Pedri. With time, players like him will find their best form again. The same goes for Frenkie de Jong, who is just back from injury, and this also applies to Robert Lewandowski. The Polish striker hasn't been at his best in these last months. But also for him, there might be a moment where the tide will turn around again. Xavi's squad just needs a consistent run without any injuries for some of the best players to become their best selves again. This team really just needs some momentum. Another question that has come to the mind of Barca fans is, why are Barcelona that bad right now, if they were that good 1 year ago? Under Xavi in the second half of the 2021-2022 season, as well as at the start of last season, Barcelona played better football than now. That means that Xavi probably has it in him to actually make Barcelona play good football. But what did Barca have back then that they don't have right now? Well, there's multiple things. First of all, a midfield with well-defined roles. Last season, Busquets was the anchor, the one who dictated everything. Frenkie de Jong had the duty to carry the ball forward and was Barca's deep roaming creator. And Pedri was Barca's creative midfielder with the task to play more offensively and create opportunities. As you see, this was a midfield with well-defined roles and players who perfectly suited those roles. This season, Xavi's midfields, there hasn't even been a consistent midfield that Xavi has been playing with, which is also to blame on the injuries. In every game, the players have to play in some new kind of role again, it seems. There is no blueprint structure, there is no system that allows Barcelona to have patterns in their build-up. Whatever midfield Xavi plays with, he just needs to make sure that the roles are clearly defined and that he picks the right players for each role, just like he did last season. Losing Sergio Busquets has definitely had its consequences. What else did Barcelona have 1 year ago that they don't have right now? Ousmane Dembélé. Dembélé might have been inconsistent, he might have been bad at finishing, but what he did have was that ability to take his man on all game long, that pace to be dangerous in transitions, that pace to run in behind the defense. Those are just things that Barcelona are missing right now. We have to be honest. Last season, Dembélé was arguably Barcelona's most impactful player. A lot of the danger originated in the pace and dribbling ability of Ousmane Dembélé. He, just like Busquets, is a key player that simply hasn't been replaced. Rafinha isn't as explosive, and Lamine Yamal is too young to be a regular starter. As long as Barcelona can't have a player of Dembélé's profile, it might be hard for them to reach the same level as 1 year ago. That leads us to a conclusion. Xavi might have a hard time finding the right system, but it is important to realize that some of his key players from last season have been taken away, and that it is not easy to replace multiple key players at once, while about a quarter of your current players is out injured. Again, Barcelona might really just need some momentum. Just 1 month without any injury might help Xavi to find a system that Barcelona can perform with consistently. But even after having heard all of this, some people might still prefer to sack Xavi. Would you really want to sack Xavi? Xavi might have a hard time finding the right solutions at the moment, but what tells us that another manager would do better? Barcelona's squad right now also lacks certain profiles. Yeah, they might have some of the best players in the world, but what good is that if you don't replace Sergio Busquets or Ousmane Dembélé? Also, if you sack Xavi right now, what has all of the efforts up till now been worth? The players Barcelona have bought in these last years, Xavi has asked for them. This is his project, we're not on square zero anymore. If you would sack Xavi, you're basically going back to square zero all over again. If you take a look at football history, you see that it rarely ever helps to sack a manager mid-season. Appointing new managers every few years is often a symptom of clubs that lack a long-term project or direction. Take Manchester United for example. In the 80s of last century, they were a properly managed club. After some bad years, they appointed Sir Alex Ferguson as their manager in 1986. They would go on to win their first Premier League again in the 1992-1993 season. As you see, it took a while before Man United really started to get going, but from there on, they would win trophies over and over again. What's important here is that Man United were patient with the projects and they believed in it. Now, if you take a look at what Man United have been like in these last 10 years since the departure of Sir Alex Ferguson, it is the complete opposite. They've always just appointed any world-class manager that was available, and sacked him again when the results weren't good enough. David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, those are all actually world-class managers. They were not the actual problem. The problem was that Man United lacked a long-term project and that they panicked when the team were in a bad spell. Now, back onto Barcelona, do you really still think that sacking Xavi would be a good decision? Cause to me, that would resemble the way Man United have been managing their club. And I don't think anyone wants Barcelona to become the new Man United. Barcelona might be in a bad spell right now, but if you take a look at the bigger picture, Xavi is still really just the right man to take Barcelona back to where they belong. Xavi has already brought his club back from its ashes. He has made them win La Liga, and now he is just having a hard time as a consequence of the way his squad has changed and the injuries. Of course, he isn't perfect, he still needs to learn a lot of things as well, but sacking him definitely isn't the right solution. And Xavi is probably still the chosen one to lead Barcelona back to the top. That was it for today's video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and feel free to share your own opinion in the comments down below. Força Barça, Força Xavi, and have a good day.